and welcome back to Logan's Voice. I'm Doug Ballinger, Logan's dad, and if this is your first time listening, thank you for being here. This podcast is about grief, healing, and truth, and it's dedicated to my son Logan, who died in 2020 from fentanyl poisoning. Today's episode is a bit different. It's not just personal, it's educational because too many people still don't know what fentanyl really is or how dangerous the drug supply has become on the streets. So today we're asking the question, what is fentanyl really? And how did it become the number one killer of Americans aged 18 to 45? Let's start with a simple question. What is fentanyl really? Because a lot of people have heard the name, but they don't really know what it is. And the gap between what we think we know and what's actually true is where so many lives are being lost. So here it is. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid. That means it's a man made drug designed to mimic the effects of natural opioids like morphine or heroin. It was originally created for legitimate medical use, mostly to treat severe pain like what cancer patients experience or pain after major surgeries. And when used in a hospital, it's extremely powerful but safe because it's measured in micrograms, carefully monitored by professionals. In that hospital environment, fentanyl can be a literal lifesaver. But that's not the fentanyl we're talking about today. So, somewhere along the way, fentanyl made its way out of the medical world and onto our streets. And that's where everything changed. Illicit fentanyl, the kind that's killing people every single day, isn't made in labs regulated by the FDA. It's made in illegal labs, often overseas, with no safety standards, no dosage control, and no concern for human life. What's worse, it's being mixed into other drugs without the user even knowing. Dealers are pressing fentanyl into pills that look just like prescription medications. They're putting it into cocaine, heroin, meth, even in weed. And the people buying it, they think they're getting something familiar, something recreational, something they've maybe done before. But this isn't the same drug scene as 10 or 15 years ago. Fentanyl is 50 to 100 times stronger than morphine and about 25 to 50 times stronger than heroin. Let that sink in for a minute. Imagine thinking you're taking a Xanax to calm your nerves or a Percocet to take the edge off, and instead you're taking something that could stop your breathing in less than 5 minutes. Why is it so deadly? You see, fentanyl doesn't play by the same rules. With most drugs, an overdose happens because someone takes too much, hence, overdose. With fentanyl, the lethal dose is tiny. Just 2 milligrams can kill a person. That's about the same as a few grains of salt. Now just imagine that being mixed unevenly into a batch of fake pills or into a line of cocaine at a party. One pill might have almost no fentanyl, and the next one might have enough to kill 5 people. There's no quality control, no warning, no second chances. This isn't just a bad batch, this is poison being sold as something else. And for parents like me, for families like mine, that's the part that's the hardest to live with. Because Logan didn't want to die. He didn't set out to take fentanyl. He didn't know. And that's what fentanyl is, really. It's a silent killer, disguised as something harmless, slipping into lives families, and futures like a thief in the night. You might ask yourself how it's showing up in street drugs. If there's one thing I need you to take from this episode, it might be this. Most people who die from fentanyl poisoning don't even know they're taking fentanyl. Let that sink in. Most people who die from fentanyl poisoning don't even know they're taking fentanyl. Most people dying from fentanyl are not injecting heroin in a back alley. Most people dying from fentanyl are not lifelong addicts buying something shady in a dark parking lot. Many of them, especially our kids, are taking something that looks just like a prescription pill. It looks safe, it looks familiar, but it's not. They don't generally go looking for fentanyl. They weren't trying to use something so dangerous. They thought they were taking something they knew about, something they considered safe. A Xanax, an Adderall, a Percocet, a bump of cocaine at a party, maybe even a joint. But what they get instead is fentanyl. And in a world where 2 milligrams can kill you, that mistake is oftentimes fatal. And it looks just like the real thing. Fentanyl is being pressed into fake pills that look exactly like legitimate prescription medications. And I mean exactly. The same color, the same size, even the same stamp. You might see a small, round, light blue pill with an M on one side and a 30 on the other. It looks just like oxycodone. It feels just like oxycodone in the hand. But it's not oxycodone. It's a fake. And it might contain a lethal dose of fentanyl. On the street, these are sometimes called M30s, blues, dirty 30s, perk 30s, and they're being passed around like candy in schools, parties, Snapchat, Instagram, even through friends. And so many times, the person handing them out might not even know they're fake. They might not know they contain fentanyl. That's how deep the problem goes. And sometimes, fentanyl doesn't look like a pill at all. It might be mixed into white powder, crystals, pinkish grains, or off-white chunks that resemble drugs like cocaine, heroin, or MDMA, Molly. And all it takes is just a few specks, sometimes invisible to the naked eye, to shut someone's respiratory system down. No taste, no warning, no second chance. And in some cases, people are vaping fentanyl without knowing it. It's been found in counterfeit THC vapes. It's been laced into edibles. There have been reports of kids finding it hidden in candy wrappers or gummy packaging. The point is, fentanyl doesn't look dangerous. It doesn't have a warning label. It doesn't smell different, and it doesn't glow in the dark. It blends in, and that's what makes it so deadly. So where do people get this stuff? The drug scene has changed. Today, kids and young adults don't even have to meet some shady guy in a dark alley. They're buying fake pills from friends they know on Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, and Telegram. One message, one emoji, one drop off in a backpack or mailbox is all it takes. And these aren't drug dealers in the old sense. They're classmates, neighbors, co-workers. And the supply chain they're tapped into, it's coming from illegal labs around the world, smuggled into the United States, and cut into anything and everything to maximize profit. It's fast, it's cheap, and it's completely unregulated. And what parents and loved ones don't realize, and this is why I say, and I'll keep saying, don't assume your child would never. Don't assume they wouldn't take a pill at a party. Don't assume they wouldn't experiment once. Don't assume they would know what fentanyl is, because no one thinks it'll happen to them until it does. Logan didn't think he was risking his life. He didn't think one moment could undo everything, but it can. It does. It has. It's one thing to talk about medical fentanyl in a clinical sense. It's another to talk about it in the real world, on the streets, in schools, at parties, in the lives of real kids, real families, and real communities. And that's where we're losing the fight. Because this crisis, it's not coming. It's here. It's now. And it's not slowing down. Fentanyl isn't always called fentanyl. In fact, it rarely is. On the street, it's hidden behind slang and code. And if you don't know what to look for, you'll miss it entirely. Some of the common street names might include Blues, M30s, Perks, Perk 30s, China White, China Girl, Apache, Tango and Cash, Dance Fever, Goodfellas, Snowflake, TNT. Dealers and even teens often use emojis to hide transactions online. They might use a pill emoji or a skull and crossbones emoji to represent fentanyl or deadly. They might use a dragon that is intended to mean heroin, or an ambulance even that means overdose, or a little flame that means high potency. Some are meant to be funny, some are warnings, but many times they're just codes, hiding the truth in plain sight. And here's some numbers that should keep us up at night. Let's talk about what this really looks like at scale, because the numbers are staggering. In 2022, over 110,000 people in the United States died of a drug overdose. That averages out to about 300 people per day, or an average of one every 5 minutes. Nearly 70% of those deaths involve fentanyl or other synthetic opioids. That's the equivalent of a plane crash every day with no survivors. Think about that for a minute. If a passenger jet crashed every day in America, killing hundreds, it would dominate the news. There'd be immediate action, national emergency, and mass outrage. But because these deaths happen in bedrooms and bathrooms, because they happen to people society has already written off as addicts, because they're hidden by shame, stigma, and silence, we just keep losing them. In the year that Logan was murdered by fentanyl poisoning, there were 57,834 confirmed fentanyl deaths. And those were just the ones that were reported. Fentanyl doesn't care who you are. It's now the leading cause of death for Americans aged 18 to 45. Not cancer, not car accidents, not suicide, not gun violence. Fentanyl. And it's affecting high school students, athletes, college kids, first-time users, people in recovery, veterans, stay-at-home moms, honor roll students, your neighbor's kid, maybe even your children. This isn't a them problem. This is an us problem. And one of the reasons this crisis is so dangerous is that it doesn't always look like a crisis we're familiar with. There's not always a needle in the arm. There's not always a dark alley. And there's not always that dirty motel room stereotype. Sometimes it looks like a kid strolling through TikTok, a college student that's taking a pill just to stay awake and study, a mom that might be taking something to ease her anxiety, or a teenager trying to numb out from the pressure they carry every day. That's why we call it a poisoning, not just an overdose, because most of these people didn't know they were taking it. And if they did, they probably never would have taken it. And yet, despite the statistics, despite the rising body count, there's still denial, still stigma, and still silence. People say, that would never happen to my kid, or she's too smart, or he's a good kid. I'm telling you, so was Logan. He was smart, he was loved, he was so much more than one bad choice. But fentanyl oftentimes doesn't give second chances. And now I'm telling his story, so maybe you don't have to tell yours the same way. One thing I'd like you to take from this episode is this: you need to know what fentanyl exposure looks like. Because when someone is being poisoned by fentanyl, you only have minutes to respond, sometimes just seconds. And the difference between life and death, it might be whether someone nearby recognizes the signs and knows what to do. So, what does an opioid overdose or fentanyl poisoning really look like? Forget what you've seen on TV or in movies. Most opioid overdoses, especially those involving fentanyl, are quiet. There's no dramatic collapse, no gasping or screaming, and sometimes it looks like the person is just asleep. That's part of what makes it so dangerous. Here are the most common signs of a fentanyl poisoning. The victim is often unresponsive. They don't wake up when you shake them or shout at them. Their breathing is slow or weak or no breathing at all. Or they might be only taking shallow breaths. They have pinpoint pupils, tiny, tiny pupils, like dots. Their lips may be blue or gray. Their fingertips or skin might be blue or gray, especially around the mouth and nail beds. There may be gurgling or choking or snoring sounds, sometimes called the death rattle. This can be mistaken for regular snoring, but it's not. Their skin may be clammy or cold, even if the room is warm, and their body may be limp, no muscle tension, almost like a rag doll. If you see any of these signs, assume it's an overdose and act fast. And minutes matter. What do you do if you suspect someone is suffering from an overdose or fentanyl poisoning? Call 911 immediately. Tell them you suspect an opioid overdose or a fentanyl poisoning and give them the location right away. And then administer naloxone, often called Narcan, if you have it. It's available without a prescription in most states now. You can carry it in a purse, backpack, glove compartment. It comes in a nasal spray, and it's incredibly easy to use. All you have to do is insert the spray into one nostril, press the plunger, and wait 2 to 3 minutes. If they don't respond, give them another dose. You may need to perform rescue breathing if they're not breathing. Stay with the victim until help arrives. Narcan only works on opioids and synthetic opioids. It won't hurt someone who's overdosing on something else. So when in doubt, use it anyway. It can save their lives. So what makes fentanyl poisoning different? There are a few reasons fentanyl poisoning and overdoses are harder to respond to than other opioid overdoses. They happen fast, sometimes with 1 to 2 minutes of taking the drug. They may require multiple doses of naloxone because fentanyl is so potent, one spray might not be enough. And they're harder to detect. Again, it might look like the person is just asleep, but if they're not breathing, they're not sleeping. You don't have to wait until something goes wrong. You can prepare now. Get some naloxone, Narcan. Look up where to get it in your area. Pharmacies, local health departments, harm reduction groups. Many people offer it for free. Teach your family and friends how to use it, especially teens. Talk to your kids, not just about drugs, but about overdoses, poisonings, danger signs, and how they can help. Make a plan. If someone in your life is struggling, have Narcan nearby and make sure others know where it is. You'd have a fire extinguisher in case of a fire, right? Narcan is an extinguisher in this crisis. And here's why this matters so much. I wish someone had seen the signs in Logan. I wish someone had known what he had taken. I wish someone had Narcan nearby. Maybe it wouldn't have made a difference that night, but maybe it would have. And maybe it will for someone you know, someone you love. Because the scary truth is, many people who die from fentanyl poisoning aren't alone. They're with friends, partners, even in public, but no one realizes what's happening until it's too late. Let's not let that happen again. So, we've talked about facts about fentanyl. You've heard the dangers. You know that fentanyl is everywhere, hidden, lethal, and unforgiving. What can parents and teens do? Let's be clear. This episode isn't meant to scare you into silence. It's meant to wake you up into action because you're not powerless. Whether you're a parent, a teacher, a coach, a teen, a sibling, or a friend, there are things you can do right now that could save a life. So let's talk about them. If you're a parent or a caregiver, start the conversation today. Don't wait for a perfect moment. Don't wait until there's a reason. Talk about it now and keep talking. This shouldn't be one of those one time birds and bees style talk. It's an ongoing conversation that evolves as your child grows. Use real words. Do you know what fentanyl is? Have you heard of fake pills going around? If you were ever in a situation where someone offered you something, would you do it? No matter what happens, you can always come to me. And here's the key: talk without judgment. The goal isn't to catch them, it's to connect with them. Ensure that they know that they're not in trouble for being curious. You care more about their safety than their perfection. You're a safe place, even if they mess up. And get educated together. Show your kids what real prescription pills look like versus counterfeits. You can't tell the difference. Look at images of M30s. Show how fentanyl can be pressed to mimic anything. Watch documentaries together. Scroll through articles. Listen to this podcast together. Normalize being informed. Let them see that you are learning too, that this is new territory for all of us. That connection could save your kids' lives. Keep Narcan in your home, your car, your purse, just like you would an EpiPen. You never think it'll happen in your house until it does. Narcan naloxone is available over the counter in many states. You can buy it at CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, or get it free from local health departments or harm reduction organizations. I know in my state of Arkansas, the Arkansas Opioid Recovery Partnership spends so much money every year to distribute naloxone through their HERO program. They truly understand that this opioid reversal medication can help save lives. And keep it visible. Teach your kids how to use it. Let them know I carry this because I love you and I want you to carry it too. It's not enabling, it's protection. And check in with your kids frequently. It's easy to assume everything's fine when your kid's getting good grades, showing up to practice, or not acting out, but those are just masks sometimes. Check in, ask real questions, be curious, not controlling, and believe them when they tell you things feel hard, even if you can't understand why. And if you're a teen or a young adult, I'm glad you're here. If you're listening to this, it means you care about yourself, about your friends, about staying alive. First of all, I want to let you know that one pill can kill and you'll never see it coming. You might think you're just trying to chill out, to sleep, to escape for a bit. Other kids are doing it, but you're gambling with your life, not because you're weak, but because the drug supply is rigged. You will not be able to tell if that pill is fake. You won't taste it, you won't smell it, you won't feel it until your breathing stops. Don't let your first time be your last time. And if you're struggling, say something. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. If you're anxious, depressed, overwhelmed, you are not alone. And it doesn't make you weak. Tell someone, a parent, a teacher, a friend, a hotline. You deserve to feel better without risking your life to do it. And kids, carry Narcan and learn how to use it. Even if you don't use drugs, you could save someone else. Overdoses and fentanyl poisoning can happen at parties, concerts, dorm rooms, on the street, in your car. Be the person that knows what to do. That's real strength. And for all of us, this is a community problem, and it will take a community response. No one is above this. No one is immune. So let's end the shame. Let's stop whispering about addiction like it's some dirty little secret. Let's say the hard things out loud because silence is deadly and stories save lives. Logan had no idea that his story would become a warning for others. But now it is. And if you're listening, it's because his voice and mine have found you. You can do something. You can open a door, share a resource, make a call, carry a kit, ask a question. You don't need a degree or a title to help someone live. You just need love and truth and courage. So before we wrap up, I just want to say this. I wish I never had to learn any of this. I wish I didn't know what Narcan was. I wish I didn't know how fentanyl works, how fast it kills, or what it sounds like when a parent screams for a child they can't save. But I do, because I lost my son Logan to fentanyl poisoning. And now this is what I do with the pain. I speak, I teach, I warn, I love. And I carry Logan's voice and every voice we've lost into the places that need to hear it. If this episode opened your eyes, if it gave you clarity, if it made you feel less alone, please don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Talk about it. Get some Narcan. Start a conversation before it's too late. Because this isn't just a crisis, it's a movement, and you are part of it now. Look for more resources and support in your local area. In Arkansas, we have Hope Movement Coalition, a powerful group of warriors that stand together to fight this epidemic. It's made up of people just like me, people that have lost a loved one, a child, a parent, a sibling, an aunt, an uncle, a niece, or a nephew. You can follow me on Facebook at Rex Logan's Dad. I'd love to hear from you, truly. And if you're carrying grief or fear or questions, this space is for you. You are not alone. You never were. And until next time, hold your people close, say the hard things, and never, ever stop fighting for the ones you love. I am Logan's voice. I am Logan's dad. And I will not be silent any longer.